And welcome everyone to the Pepperdine Men's Volleyball NCAA Tournament pre-match news conference as they are preparing to play UC Santa Barbara, an old MPSF showdown or old WEVA showdown, depending how far back you want to go, between the Waves and the Gauchos. We're joined here by Coach Hunt and Spencer Wickens. So, Coach, I guess we'll start off with you. We're a couple days away from that big matchup in the NCAA Tournament opening round. How's your team feeling entering the match?
Yeah, I think we're doing well. That'd probably be a better question for Spencer. I think from a coaching standpoint, you got a whole list of things in the whiteboard of just things we got to work on, things we got to keep getting better at. And at this point in the season, we know everything we want to know and don't want to know about our team. So as a coach, you're on edge a little bit, but the guys, they seem healthy, they seem excited, and I think we're just glad to be able to compete for another week.
Spencer, following up on that, how do you feel this week in practice has been for the team?
We're feeling pretty good. We had a couple nice days of rest after the tournament, the MPSF tournament. So this week's practice has been pretty competitive. The guys are getting after it, trying to create that same environment for this upcoming week. So we're looking pretty good.
Coach, looking at UC Santa Barbara, had an opportunity to watch some of their film. What's a couple things that stand out for you seeing the Gauchos?
Yeah, it seems like I've seen this team for 4 straight years now. I mean, they're a real veteran crew. In normal years we would play them twice. So I mean, they're a veteran, scrappy crew that it's hard to kill balls against. And they take good swings. They play good volleyball. They're not going to kill themselves. They're going to make you beat them along the way. So, yeah, I mean, no shock. They're well coached. So, just tough matches ahead, I guess, would be the only thing.
Spencer, I want to ask you, when you have a team like UC Santa Barbara that in many ways is like you, a good passing team, does that add any more pressure when you're back on the service line trying to get them out system?
I mean, a little bit for sure. A good passing team makes you want to maybe rev up your serve a little bit. But I mean, our strengths are also defense and transition. So, making a lot of serves and just playing our game, will work well for us, hopefully. So, no, a little bit, but not too much, no.
Coach, it feels like a lifetime ago when you were last in the NCAA tournament because it's been 2 years and a lot's happened in 2 years, but it's once again, 2 years, it's been pretty close. So do you feel that experience in 2019 has helped you in any way prepare for this year?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Yeah, I mean, technically this is back-to-back Final Fours or, NCAA tournaments? Yeah, technically. Except we have a whole different group out there. So that's sort of unique. Spencer and Noah were the only guys to play in the last tournament, and they're playing different positions now. I don't know if the experience necessarily helps the guys, because some of the younger guys were on the roster at that point. For me, it really helps just having Marv in the office to bounce ideas off of and just say, hey, at this point, do you typically experience this? Or maybe it just, decreases my anxiety level a little bit. But yeah, I just try to lean on the people that we've had around our program, whether it's Marv or Paul as a player has been in this situation. So I try to reflect upon that, but it's also a different group, right? So every team is different. Every team has different strengths, weaknesses. So this group is very different than the group we played with in 2019, where that was a much more veteran group that experienced a lot, where these guys are younger. Playing 3 true freshmen is always a challenge. So,
yeah. Well, Spencer, I want to ask you about the 3 freshmen. What have you, starting them, what have you seen from them and their growth and improvement this year?
They're awesome. They don't play like typical freshmen. They kind of rise to the occasion, the level of the match that you play. So they've all had great matches in big time moments. So they're ready to go. I mean, just like everybody on the team, they came to Pepperdine because they want to be in situations like this at the end of the year. And they've really shown that they compete in big time games. So I'm really excited going forward for them too, especially.
I want to ask you, this is really, you guys went to BYU, obviously, so you've had some, long road trips, but this is one of the longer road trips. First one you're going to be doing this season just because of COVID. What are you most looking forward to about hitting the road and getting to Columbus?
We're looking forward to playing some of the best teams in the nation. Santa Barbara's ranked 3. That's our first round match. That's, going to be a great opportunity to play a great team. And hopefully, if we get through that, we get to play Hawaii. But it's just a great opportunity to play the other best teams. Yeah.
Coach, just to ask you, you got UC Santa Barbara coming up. Lots of people are going to be tuned in this matchup. What's one or two things that you should tell the hardcore volleyball fans to keep an eye on, that they should know, hey, if we're doing this, we're clicking, things are going on all cylinders?
Yeah. I think siding out has been a strength of ours. We didn't stop too many people at the MPSF tournament. We just hit better than them. And against UCLA, I think we were pretty dead even. It just came down to the serve pass battle. So if we're siding out efficiently, and luckily we have a darn good setter, 2 real good setters to help us through that. So our side out game is probably the strength. And then if we're turning points, if we're digging the ball and transitioning and scoring on those opportunities, then I think, good things are happening for us. And against Santa Barbara, I think it's probably going to be a good match for a diehard volleyball fan to watch, because there's going to be a lot of long rallies and guys popping the ball up, and not only popping the ball up, but then able to get a good swing out of it. At least that's what I saw from them in the Big West tournament, and then some of the regular season matches. And then when we're playing good volleyball, we're doing that as well.
Well, those are all the questions I had. I'll concede to Cindy if she has any questions that she wants to add, or Roger.
Yeah, Coach, I'm not sure. Other than when talking to Coach Wade, he says, Pepperdine and Santa Barbara are so similar. Is that how you see it, especially when you were talking about defense and transition volleyball and the serve and pass game?
Yeah, that's, as I watch them on video more and more, I do see some similarities. It's ironic that, Rick coached here for like 6 or 7 years. I've been here for a while, and neither of us rely on our blocking, right? Which most people just say, oh, Pepperdine, they're known for their blocking. I would say that we're pretty similar in terms of 2 teams that have pretty good ball control. Ball control being, they can dig the ball, they can pass the ball at a high rate. Santa Barbara has 2 good middles that they'll get plenty of swings. We'll have 2 middles that will get plenty of swings as well. And then I think just high volleyball IQ. You're not going to see guys wailing on the ball and hitting out of bounds. And similar to Hawaii, when Hawaii's playing well, they're not making a ton of service errors. And I've talked to Charlie about that. I think there's this notion that you have to just go after it from the service line to be successful. And I don't think that that's true. The teams that are left in this tournament serve the ball in aggressively, but they serve the ball in a lot. I think, you're probably looking at serving the ball in 85% of the time or even higher. So in some ways we are similar, us and Santa Barbara, that being that you're going to have some high volleyball IQ guys out there on the court making good plays.
Thank you. I also see that, both teams have a lot of weapons. And, if someone's having an off night, folks can rely on somebody else. But is there any one player that will be across the net for the Gauchos that you folks do want to try to slow down more than anybody else?
Yeah. I think, their setter is going to do a good job running the offense, but I think you got to see, Keenan Sanders is going to be a big part of their offense for him. He's an athletic middle that they can get into some space, and he has a lot of range. And then I think Randy Deweese, he's taken a lot of really good swings for them in the short amount of time that they've been playing. I think he's got like 600 attempts. The next person's got 400. So in big moments, he's taking big swings for them. So I would expect the ball to go to those guys. I don't know if we're going to slow them down per se. It's just we got to be ready to maybe pop some balls up that they swing at, and then hopefully transition those.
Now, one last question. I think for Santa Barbara, Ryan Wilcox has been their wild card. Who's your wild card?
I think we got a bunch of them. For us, we know that Austin Wilmot's going to get a lot of swings, and then our 3 pin guys. When we're playing good volleyball, we're not relying on any one of those pin guys a lot. but just sort of some equal distribution. I think our better matches that we've played, our pin guys have had about 20 to 25 swings each, and then Austin's probably been upwards of 20 swings. So when Bryce is distributing the ball evenly, I think we've been at our best, versus some matches where we've struggled. We have to rely on one attacker more than the others, and that's probably not our strength.
All right, thank you so much, and please give my best to Coach Marv.
Oh, I will.
Well, we'll end on one light note question here to wrap up on. You bring up Ryan Wilcox. Came out earlier this week. The show aired where he won the obstacle course game show Wipeout. So I want to ask both of you guys, who on your team do you think would fare best in the game Wipeout?
Spence?
Oh gosh. I mean, I like my chances for sure. I think Zach Norvid would also be one I'd have to look out for. I don't know. We have a lot of tall guys on the team. I think they would get hit a lot. So I think one of the shorter guys for sure. So maybe Joe Carlos too. He could sneak under some outfields.
Yeah, Joe Carlos would be my pick. You know, Wilmot would get hit by everything. He's long and gangly. You know, Spence would be a good pick. He'd probably be my number 2. But yeah, we need somebody that's a little more crafty, that could dodge, duck, and Joe grew up in Newport, you know, so the water wouldn't throw him off. You know, Rochester's not known for their beaches, so you know, the water might psych Spence out. Specifically, I've seen him freak out, you know, when there's water on the golf course. So that tends to happen.
Oh man.